Rare earth rivalry. Why is the Philippines entangled in the US-China scramble? Why have rare earths become a crucial strategic resource? Why is the Philippines siding with the United States over China? A quiet but intense struggle for rare earth elements has recently escalated, drawing the Philippines into a global spotlight. What makes rare earths such a vital strategic asset? And in this high-stakes game, why is the Philippines siding with the US instead of China, a country with which it has close economic ties? Let's delve into this rare earth rivalry to uncover the complex interests and geopolitical factors at play. The US seeks rare earth alternatives globally. The US has long been vulnerable in its rare earth supply chain. Despite having significant reserves, the cost and complexity of mining and processing are high. In the 1990s, the US rare earth industry collapsed, unable to compete with China. In recent years, the US has tried to rebuild its domestic supply chain to reduce its dependency on China. On July 15, 2025, MP Materials, the only operating rare earth mine in the US, announced a $500 million partnership with Apple to supply critical materials for its electronic products. MP Materials had previously received a $400 million investment from the US Department of Defense. However, this company, which carries America's hopes for rare earth independence, faces numerous challenges. Its production costs are at least 50% higher than China's, and it is still in the development phase for key technologies like heavy rare earth separation. To break its dependence on Chinese rare earths, the US has begun to seek alternative sources globally. The Philippines, with its rich rare earth deposits, has become a prime target. In July 2025, during the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting in Kuala Lumpur, U.S. Secretary of State Rubio signaled to Philippine Foreign Minister Lazaro that the U.S. was very interested in the Philippines' critical mineral resources, emphasizing the need to diversify critical mineral supply chains. Just weeks later, Philippine President Marcos Jr., in his State of the Nation address, for the first time listed critical minerals as a priority for national development, signaling an openness to attracting foreign investment. Beyond the Philippines, the U.S. is also targeting other nations. In Myanmar, despite political instability, the U.S. has attempted to contact the military junta and even the Kachin Independence Army to secure access to heavy rare earth resources. Heavy rare earths are crucial for military equipment like fighter jets, missile systems, and advanced radar, making them a strategic commodity for the U.S. military. The U.S. has also formed the Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance with Japan, Australia, and India. However, Australia's Lynas Corporation's rare earths must be refined in Malaysia and then further processed in China to meet standards, meaning this alliance is unlikely to alter the global rare earth landscape in the short term. The U.S.'s global rare earth strategy aims to challenge China's dominance in the sector. However, these efforts face significant challenges, including high costs, technological shortcomings, and labor shortages, making it difficult to achieve its goals quickly. These moves are a direct challenge to the global rare earth market order and have heightened geopolitical tensions. The competition for rare earth resources is not just about economic interests, it also concerns national security and strategic development. In this undeclared rare earth war, every step the U.S. takes is under scrutiny, and whether it can successfully build a rare earth supply chain independent of China remains to be seen. The Philippines' difficult choice, conflicting interests. The Philippines, an archipelago nation, has significant deposits of rare earth elements such as neodymium, praseodymium, terbium, and dysprosium, particularly in northern Luzon, Zambales, and eastern Mindanao. However, the development of these resources has long lagged behind. The country's limited industrial capacity stands in stark contrast to its abundant resources, leaving it in a raw material export stage. As a major exporter of nickel ore, the Philippines, lacking processing capabilities, exports raw ore at low prices. These raw materials are mostly sent to China, where Chinese companies process them, increasing the final product's value dozens or even 100-fold. Under the Marcos Jr. administration, the Philippines' foreign policy has shifted significantly. It has moved away from former President Duterte's pro-China stance and quickly realigned with the U.S. While providing the U.S. military with access to several bases, the Philippines has also made compromises on core issues like tariffs and minerals. In return, the U.S. has employed a resources for benefits strategy, offering trade incentives and military assistance in exchange for development rights to the Philippines' resources. If the Philippines ultimately accepts U.S. rare earth investments, it could lead to its resources being exported cheaply, environmental damage, and the added value of the supply chain falling into U.S. hands. Some in the Philippines are aware of these issues. The Philippines is an environmentally fragile nation, and large-scale rare earth mining could cause irreversible damage to its ecosystems. Furthermore, over-reliance on U.S. investment could lead to a loss of economic autonomy, creating deep dependence on the U.S. Cooperation with China might be a better option for the Philippines. China's technological advantage in rare earth processing could help the Philippines increase the value of its resources and upgrade its industry. China's experience in infrastructure development could also aid the country's growth. However, geopolitical factors have made the Philippines' choice between the U.S. and China exceptionally difficult. The Philippines' decision in this U.S.-China rare earth rivalry is not just about its own economic development and environmental protection, it also affects regional peace and stability. The Philippines should carefully consider its relationships with both the U.S. and China based on its long-term interests. While pursuing economic growth, it must also protect its resources and environment, avoiding becoming a casualty of great power competition. Regional countries should also work together to establish a fair, reasonable, and sustainable rare earth development and utilization mechanism to promote shared regional prosperity. In this rare earth rivalry, various interests are intertwined and geopolitical factors are complex. The U.S. is attempting to use a global strategy to break China's rare earth dominance, while China is responsibly managing its resources and advancing industrial upgrades. The Philippines is at a crossroads, facing a difficult choice. The outcome of this rare earth rivalry will not only influence the trajectory of global technological development but also have profound implications for the world order. We hope that nations can resolve rare earth development and utilization issues through peaceful and cooperative means, contributing to global sustainable development. China's rare earth ace, controlling the global lifeline. In the rare earth sector, China is the undisputed leader. For a long time, China has accounted for 60 to 70% of global rare earth mining and over 90% of refining capacity. This industrial advantage gives China a firm grip on the global rare earth supply chain, which is critical for key sectors like new energy, electric vehicles, military industries, and smart devices. China's dominant position comes from a 3-in-1 advantage of resources, technology, and industry. In terms of resources, China has vast reserves of a wide variety of rare earth minerals. Technologically, China's cascade extraction process is more cost-effective and efficient than the U.S.'s solvent extraction method. Industrially, China has a complete rare earth supply chain, with strong capabilities in every step from mining and beneficiation to refining and processing. In recent years, for reasons of national security and environmental protection, China has progressively tightened its regulation of rare earth exports. In 2023, China restricted the export of technologies related to rare earth refining. In 2025, China's control measures demonstrated a feature of precise technical strikes. Customs data for June 2025 showed that China's exports of germanium to the U.S. plummeted by 95% and antimony by 88%. This move had a huge impact on related U.S. industries. An internal Pentagon assessment revealed that the U.S.'s defense rare earth inventory would only last for 60 days. F-35 fighter jet deliveries were delayed by 6 to 8 months due to a drop in the yield of infrared targeting systems, and Javelin missile monthly production was cut by 40% due to a shortage of antimony-based armor-piercing components. China's decision to strengthen rare earth export controls is not to gain an advantage in a trade war but is based on the need for sustainable industrial development and its responsibility for the rational use of global rare earth resources. In the past, China's rare earth industry faced issues like extensive development, resource waste, and environmental pollution. By tightening regulations, China is pushing its rare earth industry towards high-quality and green development, enhancing industrial added value, and ensuring a stable supply for the global rare earth market. China's advantage in the rare earth sector is not only a reflection of its economic strength but also a crucial safeguard for national security. In today's increasingly fierce technological competition, rare earths are vital strategic resources. By managing its rare earth resources responsibly, China is not only protecting its own interests but also setting an example for the healthy development of the global rare earth industry. As other countries seek alternative rare earth sources, they should also consider how to cooperate with China to achieve mutual benefits, rather than merely trying to undermine China's dominant position and sparking unnecessary geopolitical conflicts.